Um, hey YouTube, it's Jaden. I know all my videos are kind of raw, just kind of talking from the heart. Never have a script or anything. That's why there's a bunch of like and stuff. Um, Exhibit A, right? I'm sorry for the terrible lighting. I don't feel like turning the lights on. Um, Probably gonna go to bed after this. I'm very, very upset right now. I haven't been on social media as much, or I've been trying to get off of it because I have a lot of other stuff to do. Uh, I've been applying for jobs, seeing if I can get a callback of any sort. Um, Also, if you see that, my mom drew that. I'm very thankful that she did that. Anyways, um, just been trying to apply for jobs, been trying to prepare for grad school, stuff of that sort. Excuse me. So, haven't been on social media as much. But every now and then I'll be on like Twitter because it's kind of like a bunch of doom scrolling. It's like a bunch of stuff where it's like I'll laugh and then I'll see a bunch of sad stuff. You know, um, even before I learned about the whole history between Israel and Palestine, it was still a bunch of sad stuff. It was usually about black people. Um, so doom scrolling, right? Because I just never got anything. I'm sorry, had to turn on the air. I'm getting kind of hot. Um, Hopefully that's not too loud. Actually, maybe I should move my monitor so you don't hear a whole lot of that. Anyways, yeah. So I feel like I just scroll through Twitter and I get sad or angry. It's usually angry, actually. Um, Anyways, but I've been trying to keep up, sort of, kind of, with this Israel Palestine conflict, or at least be knowledgeable of it so that I don't sound stupid when I talk about it. Because you want to be on the right side of history at all times, not for the sake of being on the right side, but because you understand what's actually happening, right? I don't appreciate the people who I never appreciated the people who did the whole like during Black Lives Matter, which is kind of crazy because the Black Lives Matter movement, like I remember personally speaking, I remember the Black Lives Matter movement starting from like early as like 2014. I guess as conscious, or when I was conscious about it, that's how early I remember it. But I guess white people were conscious of it in 2020 when George Floyd got killed. And I wasn't appreciative of people that did like the black square on Instagram when George Floyd got killed, or was it Breonna Taylor? I don't remember. And that's a shame. That's a shame that I don't remember. But when one of our people got killed, um, white people tried to prove their allyship by like posting a black square on Instagram and like say a couple words. But then like a couple days later, like literally like a day later, not like they would go back to posting their stories, and it's like, okay, well, you're just doing that for the aesthetic. So I say that tangent to be like, again, you want to be on the right side of history because you know what you're talking about. Not just for the aesthetic purposes, right? Not just because you can at least say that you're on the right side of history because you know what the right side of history is. So anyways, yeah, I was on Twitter today, well, just now, actually, just now, literally right before I made this video, and on Twitter, like, there's like 5 different topics of like what's trending, and one of them was Rafah. I believe Rafah is a part. It's one of the locations on the Strip of Gaza. I wanna say. It's a location. I want to say. I want to be pretty broad about it because again, I'm not as knowledgeable as I want to be, but I would like to say I know enough. Um, and again, one of the locations was, or one of the topics that was trending was Rafah, and I clicked on it, understanding that it was going to be something about Israel doing really terrible things in Rafah. Um, but I did not expect to see a a baby with their head cut off. Um, a baby with their a baby with no head. Um, I clicked on it, and the first thing that came up was a man, and he was holding, I guess, his baby or somebody's baby, and it was a baby with no head. And it was real. That's a real child, or a real baby. But they're not alive anymore. And that's that's so like that mm, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That really threw me. That really threw me off. I'm sorry. I'm not crying or anything. It's the air is blowing. To the point that I'm making is that threw me off. Um, Again, I already knew about what was going on, and that Israel has been committing a genocide in Gaza, and they've been killing these Palestinians. Um, Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Again, the air is just blowing a little too hard, but like I said, I've been kind of keeping up with, Israel committing this genocide in Palestine, and the fact that I'm even saying this so normally is a shame. Not because we can't do anything about it, but it's almost like I feel like America wants to just make this seem normal. I see so many commercials talking about how we shouldn't be anti-Semitic. I see no commercials talking about how these Palestinians are being actively murdered. Like, there are commercials saying, hey, don't hate the Jews. But there are no commercials going, hey, let's save these kids. These kids, their mothers and their babies. Like, I see no commercials saying that. And again, like, I feel like America is trying to, I don't know if institutionalizing is that word for it. Indoctrinating, I feel like maybe that's the word. They're trying to indoctrinate this whole let's not be anti-Semitic, but it's like nobody's being anti-Semitic by saying let's stop funding Israel for actively beheading children. Like, I saw that on Twitter, and I mean, I'm not gonna say like it ruined my mood, like, cause that's pretty, that doesn't even sound right. Um, but like I said, it threw me off. Like, you never expect to see that. You expect to see that on like Live Leak or something, or like on Reddit. If you go to like the depths of Reddit. Um, but you see that, and then I instantly wonder, like, how do people try to rationalize what's going on? Um, I'm not gonna lie, I hear my mother, and she's like, well, I don't support Hamas, but I also don't support Israel. When I'm trying to explain why this genocide isn't right, and she says that as like a counter argument to what I'm saying, this genocide isn't right. And I like, me saying the genocide isn't right is not me saying I support Hamas. Like, me saying the genocide isn't right is me saying, can we stop funding Israel from killing these children and babies and mothers and men, anybody, all the citizens, right? um I hear my friend, and he goes, give me a second, hold on. I'm sorry, my phone was going off. um I hear my friend, and he goes, yeah, I heard about this Israel and Palestine conflict, but I try not to dive too deep into it because it'll ruin my mood. And I'm not sure if that's verbatim, but essentially that's what he's saying. And it's like, this is something that you can't be naive on. Because, number one, these are people's lives. Like, you can't just be like, well, if I don't dive too deep into it, then it's okay. Like, number one, that's morally incorrect. Number two, if this was on our behalf, for example, if this was, if us as black people still didn't have nearly as many rights as we do now, let's say it was back in the 1900s and we were still being lynched, and I mean, who's saying we're not being lynched still? We're still being killed. But my point being is, if we were being still treated as such back in like the 1800s, and we had quote unquote allies saying, we'll keep up with the news, but not too much because it's just inconvenient, that's morally incorrect. And like, I hear my mom and my friends say those two things, and it's like, how do you not understand that that's not okay? Like, I know my mom means well by that, but at the same time, it's like, you kind of have to realize you can't be a fence sitter when it comes to genocide. Like, you can't. You just can't. You can't be a fence sitter when it comes to things like this. You can't be brother Martin Luther King. He calls these type of people um, the moderate liberal. I don't know if moderate is it the relative liberal, the moderate liberal, or the convenient liberal. It's one of them. He calls them one of those things. I'll call it the moderate liberal. He calls them the moderate liberal. Someone who is an ally, someone who is very progressive only when it's convenient. And what King says, which is something that I love, is that he would respect the blatant racist more than the moderate liberal. I did a paper on this. Because at least the blatant racist is very upfront about their morals, or rather the immorality, right, of their opinions. But at least they're upfront about it. The moderate liberal is like a wolf in sheep's clothing. They think, or they'll show you that they're progressive, but again, only when it's convenient. And again, I see that in certain family members. I see that in certain friends, and it's like I don't appreciate that, because again, you can't fight for your rights or other people's rights only when it's convenient. You need to be this way in the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's so frustrating, because especially for older people, because you lived this more than I did. I I was taught certain things through other people's experience. I'm only 20, right? I turned 20 in about 4 months. But older folks have literally lived this, and they still believe that very weird philosophy that is like degrading them. I don't know. I don't want to move the goalpost of what I was originally talking about, because this is a video about the Palestinians, and I wish I could do something about it. I mean, you know, I still see videos on TikTok and like how you can donate to a certain family, and you know, I do. I don't want to say like you know, I've donated $100,000. I don't have that money, right? But I've done the things that I've can't. Excuse me. I've done the things that I've, that I've. You know what I'm trying to say. I can't. I guess I can't speak. But yeah, you have to be on the good side. You have to be on the right side of history, because you truly understand what the right side of history is, not just when it's convenient to you. Um, and Joe Biden is just I think he's truly like he's the epitome of the moderate liberal. He truly is. I don't know. It's so, it feels so hopeless when you know you're on the other side of the world and you can't physically do anything about it, but it makes you feel good when you see other college students do the encampment stuff, and when they protest. And I wish I could have. My school isn't huge or anything, and unfortunately a lot of the students here don't keep up with that. Not because of like my one friend who like conveniently keeps up with it. I guess it's because they're not really up to date with it. And that's not their fault, I guess. I don't know. I think a lot of it, there's some of it is circumstantial. Like I understand it. But yeah, I feel like our generation is gonna make a change. Um, as soon as we get, oof, boy, oof, boy. All right, let me wrap this up. Yeah, I believe our generation is gonna make a change, and y'all need to be a part of that, truly, because you want to be, not because it's convenient. So when when we create the Rainbow Coalition again, your boy's gonna be a part of that, for real. When we create the Black Panther Party again, 2.0, I might not be the Fred Hampton or the Huey P. Newton, but I might be the Bobby Seale. I don't know. Either way, all power to Palestine. I wish I knew the quote that they say. It has something to do with the sea. I don't know. I'm not too knowledgeable. I wish I was. But power and peace to all the Palestinians. And again, I wish I could do more other than donate. I guess I'm speaking my voice. So, yeah. Have a good day. I don't know. I guess I'm ending this differently because this is truly from the heart, and I only want what's best for the oppressed people. So, peace and love to everybody who's dealing with it.